Welcome to a little Flowers After Hours session here at Bella Fiore. I'm Emily Neubauer, I'm the owner, and the flower shop is closed, and I'm kind of back here in the back room working on a little project. So as the trends come along, florists need to practice. We're professionals and we're always honing our craft and keeping up with the new trends, learning how to do things quickly, efficiently, and making sure that what we're doing is the best solution for what you, our customer, needs. So once you get a beautiful flower arrangement, maybe a new trick or trend is going to work best in your home and do just what we thought it would do. So today I'm going to talk about a couple things that might fall into that category of everything old is new again. Maybe you've seen these things before, maybe they're brand new, but they're trends that are happening right now in our industry. So today I'm going to work with a beautiful vessel. This is a nice opaque ceramic urn. It's got a very pretty glaze on the outside. It also has a clear or matte glaze on the inside. It looks like it's not glazed, but it is, and that's really important when we put clear water in something. Anytime you have a vessel that's new, give it a test, make sure it will hold water. We never want to have that slow leak or a little seam that might release some moisture onto your tabletop, onto the surface that the vase is sitting on. That's where you could have the risk of doing some damage to your furniture. So test out that new container, make sure it really does hold water, and if you need to, put a saucer or a plate or something underneath it just to protect the table you're putting it on. So this vase is full of water. We have a floral preservative in there. It is something that was created for the floral industry. The little packet of flower food that you get really is important. That was created by some botanists and some chemists who know exactly what our flowers want to drink and eat when they're off of the plant, away from their roots. Now we need to pretend that they're getting the same nutrients that they would from the plant. The nutrients they're getting in that flower food are not the nutrients they're going to get from all the wives' tales you're going to tell me. I know you've tried aspirin. I know you've tried pennies. You even gave it a little vodka. They might have been happy, but they were not healthy. So do me a favor, use the little packet. There's directions on the back. It doesn't take much. Just sprinkle that in a clean vessel with clear water, and that's going to give us the best chance for a long, happy life on your flower arrangement. Now this is full of water right now, but this is kind of a wide open container. So we want to make sure that the flowers have something to hold on to. A trend in our industry right now is the return of chicken wire, poultry netting. Some are using things called floral eggs. They're a plastic product. I'm going to go back to good old-fashioned chicken wire. So you can see that this is green. You might have some in silver that's not coated or painted. It's just a nice piece of chicken wire. So I folded it up, made a little ball. It's kind of bent back on itself, and it's fit right into my container. This is going to take the place of anything that would be support that we previously were doing in the style of foam, any floral mechanics that would have been non-biodegradable in a green floral foam. It also will take the place of tape. Often people will put a grid of tape across a wide, large container. That tape isn't always as waterproof as we want it to be, so sometimes it will come off. Also, it's not biodegradable, just like the floral foam. So in an effort to just be a little more aware, a little more eco-conscious, we're gonna go back to the chicken wire. It's reusable. Watch the edges. It is a cut metal product. It can get a little rusty. It can get a little dangerous, but if you're careful, you can use it again, especially if it's made to fit a favorite container, something that you use on a regular basis. So today I'm gonna lean into something that feels very botanical. I wouldn't say organic because we're not going to think of this in a chemical way of organic, but more talking about the botanics of a floral collection. Very heavy into green colors, greens and some neutral creams today. When I start with a vessel like this, I like to establish my lines first. So I want this to be asymmetrical. I'm going to work with some fun Robellini palm. A little background there. This is going to give us a little bit of a tropical flair without being super tropical. No one's going on vacation right now, so let's pretend. Let's wish the vacation we can have when all of this is done. Next year we'll have Art and Bloom in person, and next year hopefully we'll all have vacations. So I'm going to give this a couple pieces of the Robellini palm. I'm going to try and keep my bottom piece down here closer to horizontal. And then this upright piece is going to be a little more of a vertical piece. I am using a floral knife. This gives me a good clean cut every time. Opens up the cells in the stem so that they can take in water. Actually, that guy is shorter, so let's put our tall friend up here first and our short friend here in the background. The chicken wire does take a little bit of practice, but learning a new craft and a new part of a hobby is always fun. So if this is something you're working on at home, give it a try. Don't be afraid to take something out, put it back in where it was before. You'll find a better location. The next item I'm going to add here are mini green hydrangeas. So these are intended to be green. They are grown to botanically stay green. I give all my hydrangeas a good cut and then scrape off a little of that bark. I kind of call it a potato peeler action. You want to just take off some of the bark on the very bottom, again giving more cell structure, openings to take in water. I personally do not like smashing woody stems. I've heard people comment that they like to take hydrangeas, lilacs, cherry blossoms, any of the tree-like or woody stems and smash those. I feel like that is crushing or killing the cell structure there. So a good clean cut should give our plant enough places to take in water that we don't have to damage it with a strong, hard hit. Always a timeless favorite, a couple big white roses. Roses are one of those fun things that we can kind of play with and say, hey, it looks fancy, it looks expensive, but really they're the workhorse of the floral industry. They're just something beautiful. They're reliable colors. They have been manipulated and grown to be successful and consistent, so we get the same beautiful flower over and over again. All right, so what I've done there is reflex those petals. Against my white sweater, you can't see it as well. Reflexing is an older terminology where we take the petal and kind of bend it backwards. When I first started in floral in high school, that was something that I got to do as the kid. So go over here and take these petals, reflex them backwards, gently folding them. They're a concave shape and we want to make them convex. Fold them away from the center of the flower. This makes the flower look larger. It is completely a visual thing. It's just tricking the eye. It's not going to be better or worse for the flower. It's not going to do damage. It's not going to give it any benefit. It's just to look cool. So another fun trend we are seeing very, very regularly are reflexed rose petals. What I'm removing right now are the guard petals. Mother Nature put some thick, kind of ugly petals on the outside of roses. They are intended to guard the bud from all the little troublesome bits that could come in contact before it's finished growing into a flower. So when we have a bud, it has thick guard petals on the outside and the sepals, which are the little pointy green mini leaves underneath. That will keep away any insects. It might keep away moisture, such as just too much rain or something that would get in and damage the flower before it's ready to be a flower. Remember, the whole point of a flower is to bloom, to be beautiful, to draw in an insect or the wind or something that will pollinate, and then it will turn into a seed. This is all about becoming a seed and continuing the life cycle of the plant. So Mother Nature wants to guard those little petals, guard those flowers before they become a big flower, and then we can keep growing and the life cycle will keep going. So a couple beautiful roses in there, something again classic and timeless. All right, we've got some really deep green mums. This is a ball mum. It is related to the button mum. It's also a disbud, so that means man has manipulated this plant. By removing all of these little buds, we put all the energy into one big bud and it will grow strong and happy. If we didn't remove all of them, this same flower would look like this flower. So these guys are cousins. This one, we left all the little babies. This one, we took off the babies and put all the energy into the top center one. So kind of some of the fun new trends, figuring out how things grow, learning what we can do to them to get something new and interesting. The texture is gorgeous. This deep green color isn't found a lot in flowers and in petals, more often in leaves and structure of a plant. So it's great to see that as a fun option. We're going to use this as structure, nice and deep down in here. One thing with the chicken wire is we don't have to include as much foliage. So we want to keep thinking about it. I mean, green is a great color. It is the background to everything. All flowers grow on green, so they will always match. But we don't want to ignore that completely. All right, here's our nice strong base. And as we keep inserting into that chicken wire, we're getting more and more stems in there. It's going to give us strength and structure, and it's going to hold our arrangement together. Continuing with this asymmetrical shape that we have going, I'm going to use Leucodendron. This is a beautiful Hawaiian plant. It has a really cool seed pod in the center, very fun. There's a couple different plants. You'll see them in different colors, variation in the leaf. There's a red striped one, there's a deep burgundy color. So to balance this line here, I'm going to add another line outward. This is a very strong woody stem, so be careful when you're cutting. If you are not comfortable with a knife, you might want to go back to your clippers on that one. But it is definitely something we can work together on, and using them over and over again, you'll get comfortable with a knife and be able to clip that just the way you should. Remember, cutting with a knife gives us a good quick motion, nice and smooth. That will open up all that cell structure. Also, if you are a florist for a long time, many hours in the day, the motion of cutting with a knife avoids carpal tunnel. So a proper cut should come from your shoulder and your elbow, not your wrist. So we are not working that tendon there in a bad way. We're doing a fluid, big motion. Nice, clean cut keeps the flower happy. Good soft motion, ergonomic and better for your body. So we want to be doing flowers for years to come. All right, that keeps our style going. Nice shape there. All right, you can hear something back here that's a little different. Another fun trend we are seeing is the return of dried products. So again, if we kind of think about the chicken wire, that was something that was a little more in the 70s and 80s. So are some of the dried products. But these are a great organic botanical element. It reminds us of the life cycle of the flower. So you'll see grasses, you'll see seed pods. Many of them are in their natural color like these are. Others are bleached. So if you see things that are very light, very tan, often the pampas grass, they're going to pull all that color out of there, preserve it, and then it's a new element to be used in your arrangements. Great in fresh. It's not going to hurt any of these dried items to be in water, and it is not going to be a problem for the fresh flower to have that dried stem next to it. All right, I'm just going to play off our color balance here. So we're going to take these white roses and put them next to our brown dried seed pods there. That's part of a palm plant is what that is. All right, a couple other little fun things. I've got some Scabiosa here. Just a great product out of Holland. Beautiful white flower. They are going to be growing locally here in Wisconsin as our seasons come around. So that's a fun one you can watch for. You can grow them in your own garden if you're a gardener and a floral designer. All right, I'm working this toward you guys, so I have to keep checking in the camera here to see where my empty spots are. Put another little pretty guy over here, our Scabiosa. And one more back here in the back. I prefer to make my flower arrangements beautiful all the way around. Unless you know for sure this is going up against a wall and there is no way someone's going to see the back, there is always the opportunity that someone's going to peek back there. So I like to make sure they're pretty all the way around. This beautiful little elegant guy, this one's kind of drippy and just romantic, is a butterfly ranunculus. Another fun new thing in our industry. We are seeing new hybrids, new variations. The botanists are out there just playing with flowers, getting things to grow. And this has only 1 or 2 rows of petals. Ranunculus are known for being almost like a peony, dense with petals, soft, delicate little petals, which is what we have on this blossom, but thin as a butterfly wing. Now we just have a few of them. Butterfly ranunculus, one of my new favorites. This one in just a buttercream yellow, just barely yellow. Beautiful color for springtime. Lovely version, pairs well with ivories and other cream colors. And then we're just gonna let these guys kind of drip and bend over naturally as if they were out in the garden. All right, one or two here on the back side. Again, want to keep my arrangement pretty all the way around. All right, I think this is feeling like it's almost full. Another fun item, going back to the dried products. Crispidia. These are billy balls. Crispidia is the botanical name. These are dried. They're kind of fuzzy. They're also hard, real solid. Every little bit of yellow fuzz on this, and it feels almost velvety, like a pipe cleaner. That yellow is actually a petal. There are thousands and thousands of little tiny micro petals on that guy. And the bottom of every petal is pollen and a stamen, and the very hard center are teeny little seeds. So this is another seed pod. All right. I've done a little bit of grouping on a lot of these flowers, keeping like things together, but working them through each other. We've got big heavy leaves on one side, so light little billy balls in the center, keeping balance, keeping flow, always giving your eye something new and interesting to look at. These little guys look like butterfly antennae, so maybe they're matching our butterfly ranunculus. All right, I think just a few of those is all it takes. Sometimes less is more. So we've created a lovely new arrangement for you. Talked about a few of the new trends we're seeing right now. Using chicken wire so we don't have that floral foam. Keep an eye on this. We want to keep it full of water every day. Add fresh water. Use the flower food that comes with the flowers. A beautiful mix of botanicals. We've got smooth, shiny leaves. We've got the dark colors of our dried material, all put together there. I hope you enjoyed spending a little time with me after the flower shop closed. I'm Emily Neubauer from Bellafiore Flower Shop. Enjoy art and bloom. We'll see you next year.